Hey guys, well, Anthropic just got what I could only really describe as a bittersweet victory. So they just won a key US ruling in AI training laws that basically says that everything that they were doing and training on certain types of copyrighted material actually does, according to this US judge, fall under fair use, which is actually a very, very big deal, since this is a ruling that will be most certainly cited throughout a bunch of other lawsuits going forward. However, this is a bit of a bittersweet victory because, similarly, the judge went ahead and said that Anthropic's copying and storage of more than 7 million books in a central library was not fair use, and that, they're going to have to pay for damages, which is a big deal, similarly. So this is a sort of like, I don't really know how to call it, but it's a bit of a balancing act where this is such a pivotal thing for AI copyright law, because it's always been tough to figure out exactly how AI is supposed to operate within the realms of copyright. But it's weird overall. We're going to go ahead and cover it in today's video. Let's get right into it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and look at this article by Reuters, and basically it says that Anthropic just won a key US ruling on AI training. However, similarly, again, like I pointed out, this is quite bittersweet for them. They also got, whoops, you kind of can't see the text there, can you? Yeah, okay, now it's fine. Similarly, they kind of, they also did something that they weren't supposed to do, and the judge pointed that out very clearly. So basically, this U.S. District federal judge in San Francisco ruled late on Monday that Anthropic's use of books without permission to train its artificial intelligence system on those books was completely illegal under U.S. copyright law. So this federal judge, which I'm sure this is going to be put through a whole bunch of appeals and stuff. It's probably not necessarily going to end here. I feel like it will probably continue further through this, because this is not something that a lot of the book industry, or just any media industry for that matter, would want to see. So this is probably going to be taken way further than this. But this judge went ahead and said, hey, if you have the books, this is fair use in my mind. So basically they're saying, hey, if you own the books, you can go ahead and train AI models with those books. However, they did say that Anthropic's copying and storage of more than 7 million pirated books, because the case did point out that the books themselves were pirated, did infringe on the copyrights and was not fair use. As such, the judge has ordered a trial in December to determine how much Anthropic owes for the infringement. U.S. copyright law says that willful copyright infringement can justify statutory damages of up to $150,000 US per work stolen, which is a very, very, very big deal. Now, basically, again, like I said, this is quite bittersweet, because this means that, all things considered, Anthropic has now gotten the green light, and every other AI company has gotten the green light from the U.S. government, at least from a judge anyways. This might get taken farther, but at least from this judge, it kind of goes ahead and signals a little bit of a green light, saying that yes, it is okay, in fact, to buy a book and then use that book's data to train AI models. However, you are not allowed to steal the book. You must pay full price for the book. And that's kind of how it went for them. So they got a win, but they also got a loss at the same time, because now they're given full permission to be buying up books and training AI on those books without any permission from the writers to train AI on those books, meaning that AI and how it works in regards to copyrighted materials, AI and how that functions, at least according to this judge, is fair use, which is a very, very big deal. However, Anthropic is now going to have to pay for the more than 7 million pirated books that were stored in their database, which is probably going to be a LimeWire scale of bad. If you don't know about LimeWire, it was basically like a music piracy application. Actually, it was like an everything piracy application. If you wanted something for free, you could probably find it on LimeWire. And the guy who made it got sued insanely by like the RIAA and like all of these other industry like companies, these like legal teams representing the music industry, movie industry, television, everything. And the like sheer amount that they were going to charge initially for damages was actually outside of like the world's GDP at the time. Like there wasn't even enough money in the world to pay this insane, ludicrous fine, this insane debt that these industry leaders wanted charged on the guy who made LimeWire. So I'm seeing as it's 7 million pirated books. I'm thinking this could be quite a hefty fee, seeing as it's 7 million. Like I said, it's bittersweet. It's like they managed to get a ruling that basically goes ahead and says that yes, AI is fair use, and this is going to be used in. I assure you, this is going to be a legal defense in like a whole bunch of currently ongoing cases. Like I assure you, this is going to be like a big like key defense in a whole bunch of AI cases, even ones that are ongoing, because this ruling is huge, because this means that any AI company, as long as they got the content like everybody else, can use it to train their AI models, because apparently, at least according to this judge, it falls under fair use. So as long as they purchased the original content, it's fine. Anthropic, however, did not purchase the original content, and that means they're going to be having to pay for around 7 million books. So that's gonna be interesting. I'm very curious to see how much they're gonna end up having to pay, because 7 million books is a lot of books. That's a lot. Especially when books are also like a little expensive at times. Like it's a lot of money. Now, you know what? This, again, it's bittersweet, and Anthropic just got an incredible win for a lot of the AI companies, because this means that, at least according to this judge, and it might be taken further than just this judge, but at least according to the judge, AI does fall under fair use. So if you don't really know what fair use is, fair use, basically, it's a very simple copyright concept in U.S. copyright law. It doesn't exactly exist everywhere, but in U.S. copyright law, it is a doctrine that basically allows you to use copyrighted material and quote it verbatim, essentially, for purposes such as criticism, news reporting, teaching, and research. And you can also go ahead and make parody out of things. It basically allows you to take a copyrighted work and morph it into something else, and generally that will fall under fair use. If you're wondering why you're able to make remixes of a song, that's because generally that falls under fair use, because it changes that copyrighted material into something else. You can't just sell along that same copyrighted material itself, that's copyright infringement, but if you're, modifying it, using it for research, commentating on it, criticizing it, whatever it may be, and you're morphing that thing into an original work, that becomes fair use. And that's what this judge is going out and saying. If you want to look at the document that was written by this judge, I'll leave it in a link in the description down below, where you can go ahead and read the whole decision brief that was made by this judge, and it's interesting, and I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen with all of these other big AI copyright cases because of it. Like, I'm genuinely curious to see what's going to happen next. Because there's a lot of big AI copyright cases going on right now. For example, Disney just recently sued Midjourney. OpenAI has been fighting with the Wall Street, was it the New York? It was either the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal. Honestly, I kind of forget. Forgive me, but it like one of the biggest like news organizations out there right now. One of the biggest newspapers. OpenAI is fighting with them. It's kind of a big deal, right? And it's just it makes me wonder what's going to happen next, because this is a pretty big decision. Like, this is going to change how a lot of these legal cases go for these companies. This is a very big decision. So, I'm curious to see what's going to happen next. That is about it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Take care, you guys, and remember to stay safe out there.